Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of The Man Shrek.
Hello! It's a commentary on Christian life and culture from a pastor's wife and her sidekick.
Brought to you by your favorite host, which is not me.
It's me, Sarah Man Shrek.
And me, JJ Man Shrek. And we are back. It's the week of Christmas.
It is.
Tell you that this comes out the day before Christmas Eve, so it's Christmas Eve.
Everybody observes, you know.
And I'm sure... And we've got our little musician who's joining us as well.
Yes.
Delightful.
Growth spurts and lack of sleep and all that good stuff.
He's not going down. He would not go down to sleep. That's okay. I'm sure he will not go down to sleep on Christmas Eve as well.
Yeah, per usual, the youngest child still definitely not sleeping through the night.
I gotta figure tonight is probably this podcast episode is probably the last like Christmas themed one, because next time it will be post Christmas Eve. So
yeah, that's true.
So all right, so let's get started. Are you ready?
Is this the last episode of
No, there will be
2022?
one more.
Okay.
There will be like the New Year's episode, which will come out 2 days before New Year's.
Oh, of course.
Right? So there's gonna be one more
Absolutely.
in which
Okay.
we can reflect on the year
in
2022.
review. All right, but yes, I'm ready to approach the news desk.
All right, awesome. All right, Grinch gives speeding drivers onions instead of tickets in the Florida Keys.
What? What?
Let me ask, would you, if you were given a choice when a police officer pulls you over, you were speeding, you got caught, and he said, either you can take this $200 ticket or you have to eat this onion right now. Like an apple. Eat it like an apple. Would you eat the onion?
Ugh. I mean, I would hate to eat an onion, but I'd rather eat an onion than pay $200.
Right? Key Largo drivers who speed a little bit through selected school zones in Florida Keys overseas highway during the holidays might get an onion from the Grinch instead of a traffic citation.
Wow.
Monroe County Sheriff Colonel Lou Caputo donned the Grinch costume on Tuesday afternoon and stood side by side with his other officers as they aimed a radar speed detector at cars traveling by a local elementary school. So they set up shop. An elementary school had some speeding cars, so they set up shop with the radar guns. He portrays the fictional character created by the children's author Dr. Seuss to give motorists a gift, but also to call attention in a nice way the need to obey speed limits, especially in school zones.
Oh my god.
So he literally dressed up like the Grinch. It says, Caputo said, it's about education, awareness, and our school zones are still operating even though it's the holiday season. We want people to be aware of that, and we want them to slow down. So a police officer...
You know what I think? I think this article stinks.
Like an onion. Caputo's and the sheriff's deputies have been staging Grinch speed enforcement details in the selected key zones for 20 years. So if you go 5 miles per hour or less above the speed limit, you can either choose between the traffic citation and the odorous onion presented by the Grinch. Those speeding beyond that are going to get a ticket.
Oh, of course. It's dangerous.
If you're being extra dangerous. When a car is pulled over, deputies approach the driver, check the vehicle's license plate and the driver's license. If all is in order, the deputy asks the motorist to wait in the car, and that's when the Grinch makes his appearance to chat with the often startled driver.
What? Hey, dude, there's a Grinch coming
So
here.
first they make sure it's the person and they were just speeding. It's not like a fugitive or it's not dangerous. Then they send in the Grinch.
Wow.
It catches them off guard, Caputo said. So when I present the onion to them, they're contemplating what to do. But when I give them a clear choice of a citation or the onion, they will take the onion. I've even had them eat the onion right in front of me.
Ew. Gross. Wow.
I thought that was
so weird.
A Grinch... A police officer offering in the holiday spirit, here, eat this onion to get out of a traffic ticket.
I mean, boy, that's...
I like your...
They needed some good PR for that police department,
There you
so
go.
they decided to go big.
They win.
All right, so my first story tonight is quirky and weird, but really kind of interesting.
Oh, what a
It is
change.
Michigan woman's 20-year-old chicken might be the world's oldest.
Are chickens something that we care enough about that we are tracking the oldest one?
Well, and here's the thing. So after reading this article and kind of looking it up a little bit, apparently, like, it's all based on, like, your word on how old your chicken is, and like because I mean it's not like it, you know how some people register their dogs, or they register their animals, or they like purchase it from someone. It's like this chicken was hatched by this woman, and all she can do is have character witnesses to verify that her chicken is but it's because she's seeking Guinness World Record recognition for her chicken. Her chicken's name is Peanut.
Aww.
And is believed to be the oldest in the world at the age of 20.
I mean, that
so
is
she's
chicken.
this woman, Marcy Darwin from Waterloo, Michigan, told her friend urged her to apply, and she received a response, but she has to gather evidence including photos, videos, witness statements, and media coverage.
Just witness statements and media coverage. That's amazing.
She says, I'm hoping they'll give credence to my witnesses, like my niece in her 30s who loved Peanut as a teen, and a friend who moved to California 18 years ago and loved Peanut and was astonished when he moved back to see her again.
Wow. So, like, he moved away and then came back. I mean, 20 years.
That is significant.
Where were we 20 years ago, right?
Oh, I know. I mean, I was 15 years old. I was a teenager. So it's interesting because she says that she started rescuing chickens in the 90s, and she had a hen that laid a clutch of eggs in her coop with one of her roosters, and listen to this. One of the eggs failed to hatch, and she was preparing to throw it away into a pond for the fish and turtles when she heard a faint chirp. I peeled it out of the egg. The chirping grew fainter, and I feared the chick would not survive. The pitifully wet, wadded up mess in my hand was wrapped in a towel and carried close to my heart as I set up a cage and mounted a heat lamp with one hand. Peanut was rejected by her mother and imprinted on Darwin. She became a house chicken, or lap chicken. She spends her winters indoors.
I mean, there's why she's survived, right?
And goes with Darwin when she attends outdoor events.
A lap chicken. I've heard of this, but I still am a little baffled by. Don't they like wear diapers inside or something?
You can put you put a little thing over them so they don't poop all over your floor, and then they're like your friends.
A 20-year-old chicken Guinness World Record. I don't know though.
I don't know.
The grand name of the Guinness World Record its record cannot be besmirched by what if she's lying?
I know.
Oh my gosh, I want to see a birth certificate for the chicken.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
A California girl gets first ever license to own a unicorn.
I saw this article and I did not read it, but I love it.
So stinking cute. A little girl from California had her fantasy come true nearly when she was granted an official license to own a unicorn.
That's the thing that you really need.
That's so
license to own a unicorn.
Cute. The big dreamer, only identified as Madeline, wrote to the County of Los Angeles Department of Animal Care and Control last month asking for approval to call one of the mythical creatures her very own. Her handwritten note said, "Dear LA County, I would like your approval if I can have a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one."
That is so cute.
Stinking cute. The agency shared the handwritten note to its Facebook page on Tuesday.
That is so cute.
On November 30th, so this is a couple weeks old, Director Marcia Mayeda sent Madeline a response letter granting her the unique unicorn ownership permit, which came with some conditions. The unicorn must provide ample exposure to sunlight, moonbeams, rainbows, and have its horn polished at least once a month with a soft cloth.
That is so cute.
Oh my gosh, she's got great handwriting, this little girl.
For a 6-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clearly a child-written note, but cute.
That's adorable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so they literally sent her a very official document that went back to her. And it ends with, it says, "It's always rewarding to hear from young people who thoughtfully consider the requirements of providing a loving home to animals. I commend your sense of responsible pet ownership and to seek permission in advance to keep a unicorn in Los Angeles County."
That is so precious.
She also received a heart-shaped rose-colored metal tag with "Permanent Unicorn License" emblazoned on it, along with a white fuzzy stuffed unicorn toy with pink ears, purple hooves, and a silver horn.
Oh, of course.
So somebody went out and bought her a big unicorn doll and sent it to her with the little license.
Gotta make it official, right?
It does. The Animal Control Department's 5 conditions for unicorn ownership also require that any sparkles or glitters sprinkled on the animal be non-toxic and biodegradable, and that it be fed watermelon, one of its favorite treats, at least once a week.
My favorite treat, too.
Oh my gosh. And there's pictures of the little certificate they sent her.
Oh, that's so precious.
It was such it's not much a story, but it's so perfect.
That's cute. That's too cute.
little girl got a unicorn license if she can find one. So now she's just got to do.
Now she's got to work.
Now she got to work to find one.
Wait till she sees rhinos.
I found one.
Found one. I think she could do it. She could get that. You know, you said I could have it.
You gave me permission. That's stupid.
It's time for sponsor of your life.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Awkward pause.
Yeah.
All right. What's sponsoring your life these days?
Oh, what sponsored my life? So on Friday night, Saturday night.
I don't.
We
remember.
went to the lights in Rochester. I know it's been a crazy. So we went to see the lights in Rochester, and we as adults had a great time.
Yeah.
Our children, who are small and grumpy and prone to
The crankies when they're out in the cold.
being overly chilled, apparently.
Oh my gosh, they were.
It was a little bit chilly. It was 28
but it
degrees,
was so fun.
slight breeze, but as adults, we're kind of able to, put it in perspective, but the kids were very, very miserable. So we lasted outside all of about 25, 30 minutes, and we went to see the lights, which were gorgeous.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, downtown Rochester has kind of a main drag where there's lots of shops, and the buildings are literally coated in the lights. I mean,
Thousands of lights.
Yeah, there's lights everywhere. It's a whole
street,
couple
main
city
street,
blocks.
yeah.
It's really fun, and they've got like hot chocolate, and there's vendors, and they have like little snowman statues that were like different themed and different.
Yeah, from I think local businesses.
Businesses do it to attract, and it was busy.
It was very busy. I think if we had chosen a different night, it might have been
Saturday
a little
night.
bit better.
Yep, a week
But
before.
it's not a super, to be fair, it's not a super family-friendly area. There's a lot of restaurants and bars.
For
Not really a
adults,
lot of
though.
places
Yeah.
for kids to go in.
Like
a lot of the
upscale,
stores
yeah.
are closed, so we couldn't have gone in. And even though we were there at 6 o'clock, it wasn't even that late.
Yep.
It was just a zoo, so it was fun. But my kind of caveat is that so we were kind of
The boys didn't have
frustrated
fun.
after all that. We got some hot chocolate, but it wasn't quite good enough to improve spirits. So we decided, oh well, what's in the area? What can we go to? And so I ended up being like, oh wait, okay, so we live in Flushing, but there are no Trader Joe's anywhere near.
not in
And then I
Flushing.
remember that like the only Trader Joe's in this ish area, whatever,
Down in Rochester.
it's down in Rochester Hills. So I decided let's just Google it, and boom, there it was, like 3 miles away. So we decided to stop at Trader Joe's and
was fun.
saved our night.
The boys had a great time.
The
once we're
boys
inside the
enjoyed
warm
Trader
grocery
Joe's very
store.
much, so so we did that. So that was fun. So we kind of had a twofer. It was a great Saturday night. We went to the lights and had fun there, and then
Yeah.
bummed around Trader
Shout out
Joe's
to
for a
Trader
little while.
Joe's.
So.
That's good stuff.
It's been a while since I've been to Trader Joe's. I used to go there all the time when we lived in Chicago because we
Yeah,
had
when
a
we had
couple
'em accessible.
really close within walking distance. So.
But we haven't for years. I mean,
No,
none
not
of the
at
last
all.
2-3 places we've
Nah.
lived. Sponsor of my life today is these Deadbolt mystery boxes.
Oh yeah.
All right, so for those who don't know, Deadbolt Mystery Society is they do these like date night boxes where they send you a murder mystery and you open it up and there's all these clues and there's all these puzzles. Usually we need a notebook and a pencil, and then you need your phone because there's a lot of like QR code scanning and pictures and stuff. But it is just so much fun. It was something you and I picked up during the pandemic.
You did it. I think you did like a 6-month subscription,
Yeah,
so that we would have
something to do
Yeah,
because
it
we
was so much
wanted to
fun.
do date nights and stuff, but we were not able to do that kind of self-care during the pandemic because everything was shut down. So we, like 6 or 8 months into it, we were like, we gotta find something, and so we were like, well, let's test these out.
Yeah.
And we did a couple of them. There was Finders Seekers, and those were okay.
Those are good. Those
But
are like
the primo one was
escape room type
Deadbolt
thing.
Mystery. We
Yeah.
liked that a lot. So much so that we turned it off after a while when the budget got tight because the economy went.
Yeah.
And so then we were like, nah, let's not do that for a little while. And then we were doing like regular date nights.
Yeah.
But then we were like, you know what? Those are so much fun. And so we got a couple of them recently, and they have just been so much fun.
Their Black Friday sales were pretty good. Like you got a couple of really
man.
inexpensive boxes for
just a
for-
couple bucks.
yeah.
I mean, it was really cheap.
and they were good. They're good so far. We're halfway. Well, we did
They're
one
like
of them.
$25 on average. Some of them are like
Right.
30. Some of them are a little cheaper. But it's like $25 a month, and they're so much fun.
They're good.
I recommend give it a try. Like do one. See if you
I
like
would
it.
say if you sat down and did one start to finish, it'd probably be about 2 to 3 hours, maybe.
Yep. We don't usually finish on the first night.
No,
'cause
we
get
usually
tired.
put the boys to bed, and because I mean, some of the content is okay, but I mean, there are some of them that are a little more
they're
gritty.
murder mysteries.
Yeah,
right?
some
so
of the
it
murders.
can be kind of gruesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's fun and we enjoy it, but. Not all the content is appropriate for kids, so we'll wait till after the boys go to bed, and then we'll sit down and we'll read all the opening briefs and do it. And it's a great time. It's well worth the subscription.
Definitely. All right, so for today's bit, I couldn't figure out which category it went into. It's kind of clever or cringe. It's kind of the internet knows everything, and it's kind of a Twitter trouble also. So a couple weeks ago, there was a viral TikTok video that got talked about a lot on Twitter of a church. I believe it was down south, a big mega church. They posted a TikTok video of their church running a rehearsal for their big Christmas spectacular. I don't know what the spectacular was actually called. Did you see this video though? So at one point in the video, they're like, we're prepping for rehearsal, and it's this big auditorium, and there is multiple drummers on high wires, like being suspended in the air, flying around the auditorium.
For a church?
Yes. So they were like doing this big Christmas thing, and there's like drummers zooming on these zipline kind of things.
You sure this isn't a Beyonce concert?
That's the big comment, right? So everybody was like, what is happening? What is this ridiculous thing? Now, this is pretty common, right? For big mega church to pull out all the stops and go big for their big Christmas thing. I saw a mega church pastor refer to Christmas as basically like our Super Bowl, and so we have to go big. And so there was so much backlash, people commenting and laughing about it and saying, aren't these churches ridiculous, that the church actually released a statement, and they said, I can't remember. They were basically like, look, we like to go big for this, and I'm sorry that some people don't approve of that, but we would hope that the entire community turns out. We've been doing this for years and years and years. So,
wow.
I wanted to talk about just Christmas traditions that are, and it's not even clever or cringe. It's really just like, do you love it or do you hate it, right? So it's kind of a love it or hate it segment.
Okay.
And so I found an article that's 25 worst Christmas traditions, and we can walk through it in a kind of a love it or hate it method. All right,
let's do this.
All right, as Andy Williams once famously sang, Christmas is the, quote, most wonderful time of the year. Except, when it's not.
True.
There's a lot about the holiday season to love. The holiday, the presents, the lights, the carols, celebrating with friends and family, drinking so much. Ooh, this one says glog. What's glog? I'm just going to substitute eggnog. We're not Scrooge, but some Christian Christmas traditions need to be retired, and sooner rather than later. So they are saying that we should throw away these traditions, and so I want to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to each one.
Okay.
Because some of them I think we will agree, but some of them I want to defend. Right?
Okay.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm here
so
for it.
The first holiday tradition: ugly sweaters. What do you think about ugly Christmas sweater parties?
I mean, they're fun.
I like
different.
it.
They've gotten
wonderful.
really popular. I remember when I think we were in high school. My mom had some really, really great holiday sweaters from the 90s.
Like ugly ones, though. Not intentionally ugly?
I mean, they were serious sweaters. They were real sweaters. Like, she had them. And I remember as a joke one year, my brother and his friend were like, Mom, where are those sweaters you used to have when we were younger? And my mom was like, oh, I was going to donate those. I just put them in a bin. And they bought them out, and they were like, we're going to wear them. We're going to have our own. And I don't even think we called it, because I don't even think ugly Christmas sweaters were a thing yet. I mean, this was like.
This is just.
I mean, they were.
Wear this terrible
oh my
sweater.
gosh, I think this probably was like early 2000s. I was maybe like 13 or 14. My brother was in middle school.
Yep.
So like they were like, no, we're going to have like a weird Christmas sweater party or something. Or like I think they called it like tacky Christmas sweaters.
That's nice.
And they did. Like, I remember my brother wore one of my mom's really ugly sweaters, and his friend wore another one. And then my mom had like these absolutely heinous gold pants that she had from the 90s, and then they ended up like going and getting like some other things from Goodwill, and like they were like, we're gonna do this. And I went out and tried to find a sweater too, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to participate. But this was like back early 2000s.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I have no problem with it. I think they're great.
I like ugly Christmas
they're fun.
sweater. I'm gonna say that's
But now
a
they've
tradition.
kind of become like a marketed thing. So.
Yeah, that's true. I like the ones. Well, and it sounds like so you have like the birth story of the ugly Christmas sweater, which is the original ugly Christmas sweater was one that some people wore non-ironically.
It was not
they loved
ironic
it.
at all. Like
it was just such a bad fashion from the 80s and 90s.
I mean, my mom had like this it like had this giant Christmas tree on it with like a whole scene and everything. And I
Nice.
remember thinking, oh, I like
now they're
that
like
sweater. But
intentionally making sweaters that are ugly, and
oh
that's
yeah,
not as good. Like
no,
the
no.
out of style Christmas sweater is even better.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, I think you and I will both agree with this article. Number 2, worst Christmas tradition is Elf on a Shelf.
Oh no, please no.
Elf on a Shelf.
Any tradition that requires intense amount of work to lie to your children,
Yeah.
I have strong feelings about. I won't go off on my soapbox about that.
I
but
do think okay, so let's talk about Elf on a Shelf for a second though, because is it not a parallel of the Turner Burn,
you
theological
better be
position?
good, or
yeah.
Santa's not going to bring you gifts. And you know how I know? Because your elf is
And it
watching.
creates this
and he's sending the
transactional
news
gospel
to
relationship.
Santa.
Yep.
It's not healthy. Let's just talk about the fact that you are gaslighting your child. That's so not healthy.
Good or else.
Or else. Like, what are you going to do? Look at your kid and be like, well, guess what? Santa's not going to bring you any gifts this year. Which is not true because you know you're still going to get gifts for your kid no matter how naughty they are.
Well, and so there's two things. On the one, it gives you this impression that if Santa's going, like, if there is a parallel to the Turner Burn conversation, which I think it does, like, Santa watches over you, like God watches over you. You got to be good or bad, get the gifts. So there's two major problems with that. Number one, you'll always give your kid a present, right? No one's ever actually giving their kid coal and then not brought out the gift later. Like, maybe it's a gag, but then you do give them the gift. So what you're telling them is no matter what you do, you're
still gonna get.
You're gonna get what you want. And that's not a good message at all. The second message, though, is truly that you are earning your salvation by being good. And that's not the message either.
Yep.
The gift is a free gift of grace. If we're, seeing a parallel between God and, St. Nicholas, who is this
It's
kind of...
very toxic. So,
Yeah, let's just say goodbye to Elf on a Shelf. I have no time for that.
Like, I think some of the pictures and some of the stuff can be very funny and creative.
If it's completely devoid of that weird element,
watching
like,
you, yeah.
like if it's just, hey, we have a goofy elf and he does funny stuff when you guys go to bed and you wake up in the morning and look at this crazy thing that he did.
It's funny.
but for me, like, as a parent, I know myself and I know what I'm able to, do for my kids in the spirit of, quote, Christmas magic. I will never remember that. I will not. Okay, so we do this great tradition every.
I do like this one.
We have this kit. It's called Star from Afar, and it's a manger scene crash. It's just a wooden set,
Little kid
all the
stories.
pieces.
Yep.
It comes with a book. There's Bible verses you can read for each night leading up from December 1st to December 25th. Kind of like an advent calendar type thing. But there's a star, and it has...
Like a wooden star.
It's a wooden star that goes along with a wooden set and everything. And you take the star, and the idea is that every night you move the stars, after
You
the kids
just
go to
hide
bed,
it, yeah.
you just move it to a new place. You hide it. It doesn't have to be, like, super hidden, but... You put it somewhere else in the room, far away from the manger scene. And then the kids have to, when they wake up in the morning, they have to take the wise men and they have to move it to where the star is. The idea being, like, the star travels all over the place throughout the 24 days of Advent until you get to Christmas Day when they wake up to find the star atop the manger scene.
Yeah.
Over where Jesus is. So then they move the wise men to their final place.
Well,
giving
there's no
Jesus
part of
gifts.
that that's lying to them. They know
I don't
we're the
have
ones
to
doing
come
it.
up with an elaborate. The elf is making snow angels in the flour after trying to bake cookies, or the elf, toothpick bombed your living room, or the elf got into trouble and, tore up all the wrapping paper and it's all over the floor, or made snowflakes everywhere. Like, I don't have the time to do that because it's not the elf doing it, it's mom, and mom already is busy enough. So it's just, that's a huge time commitment that I cannot make as a parent.
So this podcast is very anti-Elf on the Shelf.
I'm sorry for all of you people who really enjoy the
Some
magic
people
of
are
Christmas
super
and
into
Elf
it.
on the
They get
Shelf.
super into it and they have so much fun.
I just have a lot of feelings about it, and I'm sorry if they're coming out right now.
All right, number 3, figgy pudding.
Okay, so I've never had figgy pudding.
Okay, so
I like figs.
Did you know that figgy pudding has a lot of alcohol in it? I didn't know that.
I'm very interested.
I've
now.
never.
Just
So
kidding.
it says
But-
figgy pudding. It says if
What
we-
is with those Brits? All they do is alcohol, like
every-
wassail. That stuff is like loaded. So
Yep.
let's try figgy pudding now.
If We Wish You a Merry Christmas is to be believed, figgy pudding is so delicious that carolers will demand the dessert at every house they visit and refuse to stop till we get some. But have you ever tried figgy pudding? It's mostly booze. Maybe that's why the carolers in
Really?
the song are so aggressively festive. They're all drunk. I know that this year, Spam came out with a figgy pudding flavored Spam. Did
That's
you
gross.
see that?
I saw that and it just made my stomach turn just thinking about it because I don't
never
like
had-
spam. But
Well, and I don't know. Figgy pudding does not sound appetizing to me. Even with booze in it, I'm like,
okay, but here's the
nah.
thing. After watching several seasons of Great British Baking Show, pudding
Yeah.
does not mean pudding in the American sense. So when I think figgy pudding, I'm thinking like pureed figs in like a mush. Like when we
Yeah,
think of
yep.
chocolate pudding or butterscotch pudding,
The picture
they're
does look
thinking
more
of
like a little cake.
like a little cake.
Yep.
That's what they mean by puddings. It's like a baked
Like
cake.
bread pudding.
So
Yeah.
so bread pudding type, but with figs in it, I'm assuming, which are very good. I love figs. They're very sweet. They're a good, they're a great fruit, but I've never tried it. So I feel like I can't knock it until I try it. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
kind of
gonna
want to
knock
see,
it, though.
is
It's
it like
just weird.
rum with figs? Because I might be down if that's,
You might be
if that's
into
the
it.
case.
Is number 4, Secret Santa.
I like Secret Santa.
Secret Santa too. You set a limit.
Especially if you know the person really well and you just know the perfect
Yeah.
gift for them, and then you can just be like, here.
Well, and also if you have a big family or a big office gathering, I find it really helpful because it saves on cost.
It does.
I know, when I was a college student or just after college, just getting started in career, you have no
now
money.
in life,
Or right now,
I have
you
no
know,
money. So
and even before that, we had less money than we do now. But with 4 kids, it just we don't have money to buy something for every cousin and every grandparent and every and it's just like
It's
what,
nice
this
to
is a
do
nice
that
way
type
to
of
just
gift exchange.
All right, Christmas trees that aren't green. They want to get rid of that tradition. Get rid of all Christmas trees.
I mean, I
They're not
agree.
green.
I don't understand the white Christmas tree. Okay, I kind of understand
They
it.
look
It's-
cool.
It
I
looks
mean,
kind
they
of cool.
do look cool.
What I don't understand are the blue Christmas trees or those heinous pink Christmas trees. And I've even seen black Christmas trees. Now, okay, if Halloween is your thing, that's great, but please don't have a black Christmas tree.
You know what, though? I almost I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of okay with it. It's do what you want. I'm not really a fan of fake Christmas trees at all.
Well, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
All of those Christmas trees are fake.
But if you're gonna have a fake one, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever color. Green is not
I'm partial to
better
green,
than
but
blue or
I'm
white
also
or-
partial to real, so
Yeah, I want it to be a real thing, but if you're not gonna do it real, whatever. I think the white one looks good. The church has a white one in one
They
of the
do.
rooms, and
Yeah.
I think it looks good. So, I don't know. I would be okay to let it go, but if people were insistent, I'd be like, all right. Whatever.
Oh, none of these are I'm gonna get up on my soapbox and start being angry at people for it. It's-
Holiday airline travel. I don't know how you get rid of that as a tradition. How else are you supposed to get home, man?
we live in 2022. Ain't no way anybody's gonna give up holiday travel
Right?
in 2022.
How are you? What are you gonna?
I can't afford to fly, but my family
No.
also doesn't live far
Yeah,
away out of
we
state.
live
That's
close
not
enough,
fair for me
yeah.
to be let's stop traveling when my family lives
We can
2
just
hours
drive.
away.
Yeah.
That's very privileged of me.
That would be yep. Here you go. The Christmas family newsletter.
We just read
I
your
feel bad. I was
parents.
gonna say I feel bad condemning that because some people in my family do that. My grandma always used to send one
I
out.
have
My parents
considered
send
it,
one
but
out.
then I stopped myself because I'm like, who cares that much? Nobody cares about
I
our
know. We
family.
just put it in a podcast. format.
Oh, okay. No, but really, I thought about maybe I should start sending a letter, but then I have to pull myself back and be like, okay,
Who needs that?
I must have a big head that people really care that much about my family. Nobody cares the ages of my children or
I just think in the
what
age
they're
of-
doing.
I do think it's a generational thing though, because in the age of social media, everybody knows what's going
true.
on. I
Well,
posted
and that's
about
true,
it 1,000
but
times.
to a certain degree, for me personally, I'm not on social media, so. And I post more about if I were on social media, I would post about our children or
Yeah,
whatever. I wouldn't post pictures, but I feel like people might be more interested because they're not informed about what's going on in our
Yeah.
lives. But I don't know. I I feel like it feels a little braggy to be like, here's my
here's
family
what
and
we've
this is
done.
going on. And I know you all care so much. I've been waiting with bated breath about what my 6-year-old is doing. He can read now. Like,
But
I just
know
feel like
that
people
there's,
don't care.
like, great grandparents or whatever who do not have any of those socials and they're totally out of the loop. They love those updates.
I
But
guess, yeah.
For our generation or younger, I would say, nah, they don't want it. You
Yeah.
know? All right, inflatable decorations.
Oh, no.
I actually really like to see them in the neighborhood.
I like to see them. I think they're an incredible waste of money.
They're so stinking expensive.
They are. So I was when I was buying icicle lights, and I was, a little bit cringing spending $7.99 on a box of icicle lights. I was looking at the cost, and it's like $75 for one of the smaller ones, and I'm like, I can't justify it. Just for me personally, I can't justify
Well,
it.
and I kind of felt the same way around Halloween time or even just Christmas nights.
Any holiday.
Yeah.
I have a hard time swallowing the pill of I'm going to spend $75 for something that's literally going to be out for 30 days and then going to be stored in my basement for 11 months out of the year.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. That's a line that I've chosen to draw, and I'm okay with that.
And yet, when people have big displays, I always enjoy it. I'm never like, I do kind of assume, wow, those people must have a little bit of money, but
The cost of keeping them on, the
my
cost
gosh,
of purchasing them, just that's cool. Hey, you can do that if that's what you want to do.
Worst Christmas tradition number 9: any Christmas special that are not Charlie Brown Christmas or don't use claymation. I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
Right? I mean, if you don't want to
Someone's
watch
kind
it.
of grumpy.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch it, just don't watch it.
Just don't watch it. I mean, I don't watch TV.
I do
so.
think the onus of the Hollywood, they put out a new slate of Christmas movies every, they're spitting out a dozen or more of these movies every year, and it's too much. It's too much.
It's true. It does get a little excessive.
But I do love Charlie Brown and all the little claymation ones, but I'm not mad about.
Yeah, I'm not going to get grumpy about it. That's
over romanticizing a white Christmas. Snow is pretty, but it's also a huge pain. Shoveling yourself out of your own home is no way to live. Have we mentioned it's really, really cold? No.
This is a ridiculous talking point.
Yeah, they're wrong.
I don't care
like
that much.
white
I like
Christmas.
having a white Christmas, but I'm also not going to get bent out of shape because, it's not as if having a white Christmas makes or breaks my Christmas.
Well, I guess
Spending time together with my family
Yeah.
and, celebrating the birth of Christ is literally the only thing that matters. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I
like a white
enjoy
Christmas, though.
a white Christmas, but
Sure.
how many years growing up did we not have a white Christmas?
Yeah, and you just kind of go, oh,
well, that's a
all right,
bummer,
whatever.
but that's
I get it.
okay.
Okay, how about number 11, fruitcake.
I've never actually had fruitcake.
Let it
Growing
go.
up, I remember
Gross.
thinking gross, but honestly, as I get older, I kind of want to try fruitcake because I actually
Ugh.
really like dried fruit.
Yeah, but they this says they're the consistency of
Boozy.
a brick.
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
got
no,
so
no.
much. Well, modern fruitcake got so much corn syrup in it. You
Yeah. I don't know.
throw
I've
it at
never
someone
liked
and
it.
knock them out.
I don't like fruit or veggies or any of that in my breads or cake. Cake does
False.
not have.
Carrot cake is amazing.
Okay, that's the one exception, and it's because there's so much cinnamon in there that you can't tell. It's it doesn't taste like carrots, right?
Okay, zucchini bread, carrot
Yeah,
cake.
same
Don't
deal.
start
Doesn't taste like
on the
zucchini.
whole I don't put fruits and vegetables in my food because we've been married for almost 12 years. You know better.
It's true. All right, mall Santas.
Okay, yes. Can we please stop? Okay, I'm going to have another soapbox moment here. Can we please stop normalizing the, oh, ha, 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 look at this picture of my kid being traumatized as I force them to sit in Santa's lap while they cry for 20 minutes because I have to get the picture. But then not just because I have to get the picture, but because I have to laugh about how traumatized they are crying later.
This is really the whole bit. I just wanted to give you a a diving board for you to launch onto
I
your...
don't like mall Santa pictures. I don't.
I love it. Okay, I just straight up disagree with this next one. Underwear as a real gift. Just don't. Not even as a joke. That includes socks too. What kind of monster gives socks and underwear?
Okay, as a parent, I appreciate socks and underwear.
I feel like I want to rename the bit. I'm trying to come up with a clever name like Sarah has an opinion or something. I
sorry.
love your enthusiasm.
I'm sorry.
No, there's
I
just
guess I'm
certain topics
opinionated.
if and I think the public needs to know because you're so reserved. People think you don't
Underwear
have.
and socks are important.
They
They're
are,
literally
and they're
the
fabulous
essentials.
Christmas gifts. All right, fake fireplaces on on TV. Yeah,
Okay, that's pretty cheesy. Like, it used
I
to be a
don't
thing
like
when
those.
people would have,
Yeah.
like, those... But yeah, I mean, I have a real fireplace, so I guess I can't complain.
Yeah, well, and even those fake fireplaces, as long as it's a real fire, like a little gas one that you turn on and off,
Yeah.
I like those. Never-ending holiday sales events. Do the commercials have to get so screamy during December? I do agree.
I don't watch regular TV, but when I do, I guess I do get frustrated that it's like,
Oh, the commercials
it's
are
like,
awful.
this is the best sale ever. Oh, but then the next sale is the best ever. And it's like,
Yep.
this people will have like the Black Friday sale, and then they have like the post Black Friday sale, and then they have the 12 days of Christmas sale, and it's like, so it's just the year long sale. There's never any break in the sales, but it's all important, and you have to do it now, or else
You'll miss out.
everybody gets fear of missing out.
The commercialism of the season, just, and I could do a whole rant on that, but it just, you know.
It's exhausting.
Number 16, excessively quoting from the Elf, from the movie Elf.
Okay, no, you can't overquote.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Tacky nativity scenes. And so what they're saying...
What do they mean by tacky?
Yeah, it says, we're not
scenes?
claiming to be Bible experts, but we're pretty sure that Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Mario and Luigi from the video games were not in the original nativity. So I think what they're saying is nativities that have extra characters stuffed in there.
Okay.
Right? Like there's a Mickey Mouse
Or not like
nativity,
trying to like
or a-
force, the Mickey Mouse characters as the nativity people. Like Minnie
Yeah.
is Mary and Mickey is Joseph or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of see that. I don't like it when they do that. I'm a fan of like
guess I'm-
traditional, but
Yeah, but I'm very open. I'm like, whatever. That's a fun one. Like, anytime I see a creative one, I'm like, oh, that's fun. I've never looked at one and been like, I'm angry.
Mickey, you're appropriating my nativity
You're
story.
appropriating my Christian culture. This one just says Christmas caroling.
What's wrong with Christmas
Yeah.
caroling? This is like, okay,
Yep.
I'm not going to soapbox on this one. I have a lot of things I'm going to say right now. I'm just going to rein it
I'm
in.
really enjoying this bit.
No,
okay?
you're not. Everybody out there is judging me right now.
They're not. No, I think they will all appreciate and love the things you have to say.
Why are we hating the loved traditions of the past? In our social media obsessed world where we want to sit inside and not interact with anyone, what is wrong with Christmas caroling?
And I am an introvert.
Yeah, you are.
I have no problem with Christmas caroling. It is a great way to bring joy to people, sing,
Hands down.
and just
There's nothing wrong with Christmas caroling.
Nope, I love it.
yeah.
All right, there are a few others, but I'm gonna skip down to the end because we're running out of time. No, it's all right. It's been fun. The last one, and I'm just gonna hardcore disagree. The Christmas tradition they want to get rid of is drinking eggnog.
What?
I know. It's
Literally,
ridiculous.
it's the only time of year that I can consume an exorbitant amount of sugar and fat in my coffee as much as I can.
So
In addition to
amazing.
drinking it as frequently as I want to
While
throughout the week.
getting the heavy cream-laden holiday drink from your local store is icky enough. At least the store-bought varieties are pasteurized, but your Aunt Linda's homemade batch probably not as safe as you think. It's all
I'm just gonna go out on a soapbox here again and say that y'all better stop hating on pasteurized stuff. Let's not even get to talking about the type of milk that you're buying at your supermarket.
Sarah's soapbox. That's what I'm gonna call
I'm not
this
even
bit.
gonna go
Sarah's
there.
Soapbox. I love it. I'm so because you have some stuff that you're like super passionate about. Oh my goodness. So this list, I would say that was what, like 50-50. About half of them I agreed and half of them I was
Yeah.
like, you're wrong.
Some of these are quite delightful.
And I enjoy them.
I think you're 100% true. That's wrong. The way to say it. I think you're 100% correct.
I am true.
All right, this child has distributed the trash can contents all around us, so I think that's time to call it for the night. You want to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
Oh, sure. What did the wise men say after they offered up their gifts of gold and frankincense?
I don't know.
Wait, there's myrrh.
That's so bad.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.